Hi everyone, welcome to Who Said What with your hosts Ebeid and Mira. We're two sisters in our 40s with lots of stories to share. Having lived across Egypt, the US, Saudi, Kuwait, Dubai, and Europe, we share a unique mix of cultural insights and fresh perspectives. In each episode, we dive into the unfiltered sides of entrepreneurship, motherhood, relationships, and the crazy dynamics of family life. Well, actually, of our crazy family life. Ever wonder how cultures shape our ideas of success, love, and happiness? And why some topics are completely taboo in one country, yet casual conversation in another? Well, we're here to spill the tea, no sugarcoating, just real talk and a lot of laughs. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into another episode of Who Said What. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Who Said What. Nira's with me, of course. This is Hibba. And we have a very special guest, an old friend of ours who's an interior designer, Ramzi Ebeid.
Hello.
Very good friend. Hello. A very good friend of ours.
He is an amazing interior designer. And you grew up in the States, right?
I grew up, for the most part, for the first 14 years in the States.
Okay, so tell us I want to know...
Wait, where were you in the States again?
Well, I kind of jumped all over the place.
Detroit? No.
I was born in Boston.
Okay.
I don't remember that place,
Details.
obviously.
Wow.
Yeah, because I love Boston.
I love Boston.
And I was I think my dad was doing his residency in Harvard. And then he stayed there in that area for 4 years or so. Oh. And then my grandmother was like, لا لازم ترجعوا مصر. So we came back for a year. My dad tried. It didn't really work very well. So we moved to Houston.
That's right. I remember Houston is in the...
And I was 6 or 7, I think, when I moved to Houston. And I loved it very much. It was super sweet, super it's southern. So there's this nice family aspect to it. You have here in Egypt. Yeah.
It's similar to Egypt in that sense.
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
And lots of hugs.
So tell us, Inta, you're an interior designer.
Yes.
Did you study interior design in the States and then just move back directly here? What did you do?
Well, interior design has been my life since I was a kid. And I don't know why I didn't start right out of college. Right out of high school, because my mom and dad were you have to do... Well, that's actually why I started again. My mom and dad were you have to study business before you study design. So since I was a kid, I was into design. I was literally 5 years old, and my grandfather's estate was being divided, and my parents took me to the house to select the antiques. And they listened to this 5-year-old kid, and we still have the furniture until today.
Seriously? Really?
Yeah, which is a bit wild.
Oh my God, that's
And
insane.
I asked them, why are you listening to a 5-year-old? They're you were always very confident about design and antiques and...
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get the good antiques?
Yeah, we got good stuff. Yeah, we got some quality stuff, yeah.
God, that's so cute. I can imagine. Were you bald when you were 5?
Literally, most of my life I've been bald already.
It's true. Now most of your life. Yeah, that's right, because you were telling me when you were late 20s?
I think in high school I had a ponytail.
Oh, we got to see those pictures.
I was.
Ramzi with hair looks weird though.
I had hair.
Yeah, I can't imagine you with hair.
To me, I was stunning.
I was beautiful.
You're stunning now.
That's beautiful. But I really do miss the hair. It's easier.
Okay, so tell me, Inta, you moved to Cairo when?
So the first time was for 1 year, and I went to kindergarten at Bisk, and then we moved back to Houston, and then I moved back here for high school, and I went to Bisk again.
Okay.
For 4 years, and then I moved back there, and went to DC and studied international business. And
all Egyptian parents want their kids to study business.
It's so weird.
I don't know why I thought you were at CC. What did I think you was in CC?
No.
The accent.
Yeah.
I don't sound very good.
He doesn't say calves.
He doesn't say water.
House.
So you went to Bisk here for high school?
For high school, yeah. I did GCSE and IB over here. And I loved it. It was a nice small school. I think our graduating class was 16 people. So it was very good.
Was it still in Zamalek at the time?
It was still in Zamalek.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's small?
Yeah.
That was that was the IB class.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was really nice having this small class because he got a lot of quality time with the teachers and he got pretty close with your students. I mean, and you'd be friends. You're 16 people.
Yeah.
And then I did university in DC, and then I did study abroad here. The woman at school in DC was asking me, how good is your Arabic? I'm like, it's horrible. She's like, great, you can go. Because like she was like, you're Egyptian.
Yeah, she probably was a cult.
It's not really study abroad.
Yeah, it's true. Go home.
So like when she found out my Arabic was horrible, that was the first time my bad Arabic helped me in my life.
Okay. Wow.
So then I graduated, went back to DC, graduated, came over here, worked in IT, stayed here for 3 years.
What made you come here though? Why didn't you just stay in the States?
I literally was like asking the universe, take me where you want to go. So I got this offer. I was studying international business over there, and I did quite well as a business student. I'm not a good business person, but I was a good student because like you just memorize the ideas. And I got this job offer in a finance firm. I was like headhunted. And I was like, if they're hiring me, they must be horrible. it was for a financial job as well. I was like, لا أكيد هم ضايعين تماما. And my cousin was like, come over here and work at link.net. So I came back here and had a really
so you worked at link.net before you got into interior design?
Yes, I worked at link.net for 3.5 years.
Wait, when were you in link.net?
I was in link.net probably
what year?
Early
2001, 2004.
I was there too.
Are you serious?
How?
Shara Masadda?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Which department?
Wait. It was right after the gas station. It was at the very beginning or end of Shara Masada, right?
Are you guys both on crack?
How did you guys work in the same office and didn't know each other?
You look familiar. Well, no, because I used to work in the cyber center, ECC in 6 October.
Okay.
But before that, one of the things we were doing something, because the owners of ECC are also the owners of link.net, that huge holy, right? No. I forgot the name anyway. So yeah, I was in that office. It was when they just opened that office. So you might have been there after.
After you, yeah, maybe,
after.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I left shortly after.
And then you stayed in link.net for 3.5 years, and then you took that leap of faith and you went into design, or did you go anywhere and come back?
Well, no, because like I wanted my cousin Khaled Allah yarhamu, he was like the CEO. So I went to Khaled and I was like I loved link.net. Like we were like a family, and it was so much fun, and it was really cool. Even with all the fun and all the fact that like I really enjoyed going to work, it just wasn't in my heart. So I told him like this isn't it, so I'm gonna go to the States. He's like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm not really sure. He's like, that come back to me when you know what you want to do and have a plan. So initially I went to study film school. So I started film school and I realized that I wasn't that talented.
I think you're talented. You just didn't give yourself a chance.
Not as a writer. I was like reading my stuff. No, I didn't try to be an actor. I just wanted to be a writer.
Just a writer. Okay.
Yeah. The writing wasn't that good, and so I was an extra for 6 months, like kind of finding myself. And then I was like, I'm going to try to work in a design firm, and I need to go to school. So I literally went to school to get the internship. So I studied in UCLA for 2.5 years, and I've been back here now for I think 18 years.
18 years now?
Yeah.
I thought it was 15 years. Actually.
No, that's about 18 years.
And then,
so I met you 18 years ago.
So wait, what did you study?
Oh my god!
So what did you study at UCLA?
I studied interior design. Yeah.
Interior design. Okay, but you also do architecture, like
no, just interior design.
Just interior design.
Like I might do facades and stuff if like I'd be working with somebody, but like it's like colors and Danny.
So tell me, what was your first project when you came to Cairo?
My first project was link.net actually. It was like for link dev.
Oh my God, yes, but that was an amazing project. Your first project was really good. So you look at it, Yanni, and I look at some of my first projects, I'm like, not great. But
which one?
So you look
2006.
But all your projects were pretty good.
And I love your projects.
But there was some at the beginning that I'm always like, you know what it is, I think, and maybe you didn't make that mistake. I made the mistake of, well, actually, I think it's normal at the beginning when you're trying to prove yourself. I always listen to the client. I always like to see what they want.
Of course. Yeah.
But I felt that, and I think this is where in interior design you always learn from experience, because a lot of the times when you start at the beginning, you don't really know what materials are the right materials to use, which materials you should stay away from, especially in Egypt. So I remember doing this is like one thing. I did a bathroom for somebody and I used a tile that was like this rough tile. It was awful after a year or 2 years because it's like it holds onto the dust and it would not. So now I have a phobia about that. I never use this too rough of a tile that has like a hard texture to it, because I'm like, it's going to look horrible in a year. And for me, I'm now very much into my comfort zone, which is like the neutral, the timeless. I don't like to do anything outrageous.
Yeah.
But tell me about you. So your first project was Link.net.
Yes.
But that was a long project then. It was a commercial project.
It was like my first commercial project. And I always tell this to design students, like when you graduate, you do your first project for free because like you're taking risks. I mean, the client's taking risks hiring you because just like you're saying, you don't have the experience.
Yeah.
But like, and you need experience in design. I mean, like we all learn so much until today. I'm like still learning, and inshallah, I'll keep always learning. They were really cool. I mean, it was like, honestly, like my cousin, like Kareem, he was like, I want you to do the meeting rooms. I was like, can I go crazy? He's like, yeah, I can go super crazy. So then I was like, okay, I want black floors. I want to make all the walls blackboard so we could write on all the walls. So it could be really free and brainstorm. So the whole idea was it was a cool place to brainstorm. And the initial idea came in was like, there's going to be lots of like papyrus plants all around it. So you're kind of like in the middle of a papyrus field. Because I love always referencing Egypt. So like when I was doing that design, I had these like side lamps for the benches around the meeting tables and the ground floor that resembled the papyrus plant. So I like having that Egyptian touch. And it doesn't have to be, because people always think that when you say Egyptian, it's got to be like,
the pharaohs and the pyramids.
Pharaohs or
So
or arabesque or whatever. You can always just take the concept that they had and just
So you got paid for your first project?
No, I did not. Like the first project should always be free, I think.
Okay, so you didn't. Okay. Well, when was that project that me and you took together? How long?
I remember the cafe.
That was around that time.
It was?
Wait, was it the coffee shop?
It was the coffee shop with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And we took, me and you were so proud that we took the project. We took, him and I collectively took 800 pounds.
Yeah. So like,
You're lucky.
No, but by the way, at that time,
was it just the facade?
I don't know what we were on or something. I don't know what the fuck. But by the way, in our defense, at the time, my projects, I would take 2,000 pounds, 3,000 pounds at the time, 5,000 pounds. It's not like I was taking anything more than that at the time, because those were my first years, and I was really insecure about it. I liked my taste, but I really wanted to have clients because I was broke at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember taking that project. I don't know why we took it, but we didn't do anything with it. We actually took the 800 pounds. I don't think we did anything.
Because we were going to be all artistic, and I remember we had something with hands. There was a display. It was for a cafe. We wanted to use a lot of hand sculptures or something.
I blocked that out.
You guys are.
We had a blast.
By the
me
way,
and her had a really good time.
We had such a fun time together, but we didn't do the work. The work somehow stopped. I think he traveled and then he didn't want to continue.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he didn't ask for his money back. Thank God.
I mean,
because
my God, you guys are lucky.
It was 800 pounds.
I know you're lucky.
Then
it
was very little.
Knowing him, you guys are lucky. You guys even got that.
This got very personal very quickly.
Huh?
I said this got personal very quickly.
I love him. I love him. But there's so many people that whenever I mention his name, they're just like, "Oh, okay."
He owes us money.
He owes us money. I hate to say this, he's a crook, and random people, super random people. I just would throw out his name, like, "Oh my God, you know that crook?" I'm just like, he's a really nice guy. I felt really bad for him. I was just like, oh, okay.
Well, we didn't give him. I mean, 800 pounds was he willingly paid for it, so we know we undervalued ourselves big time.
And it was cash.
At the same time,
under the table cash.
We were rolling with cash. And 800 pounds at the end of the day, he probably thought that even if they don't do anything, it's not going to be it's not going to put a dent in his wallet. That's for sure. But
wait, can I ask him a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I love the manners right there. That was
I need to ask something.
Go ahead.
I'm not in the interior design world, but I've noticed though, Heba does more homes.
Yeah.
Do you gravitate more to commercial spaces? Because I feel like that's what you do.
What do you prefer?
But you do more.
I love commercial.
Yeah.
Because commercial, when I was working at Link, I was working marketing and branding, and so I kind of get to use some of my background and the marketing, the branding, and the commercial space alongside the interior design. So it's a nice mix. Plus, residential is very, very difficult. So I'm trying to be more and more selective as to who I work with.
What's difficult about residential?
More difficult? You find residential more difficult than commercial?
Yes.
Why?
Well,
Why?
first of all, with commercial, they have a deadline. Like they need to make money. So like they're not gonna like extend the period of design very long. So like things move faster with commercial. And I could when I could say I'm choosing this for this reasons, and it's like something that's logical. Like this is durable, or this is cool. This is a cool color that complements your branding, whatever. So there's more science to the commercial design. With residential, it becomes a lot more personal, a lot more emotional, and I'm a boutique firm, so I spend loads of time with my clients. So I tell them in the beginning, if you don't like me, don't work with me. If you think I'm bidan, don't work with me.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna spend a lot of time together.
I think also Ramzi and I are like the Jerry Maguire of interior designers. You know, I put my heart into it.
Yeah.
I'm confident now about my style, and I know what the client wants, and I know how to deal
I've
with
always loved
clients.
your style. It's like I'm very surprised that you're saying this. I remember the Hisham's house. in
Yes.
Zabit.
Yes.
My God, that was gorgeous. And I remember
liked
walking
it?
into the house, and I was like, dude, you kick ass. This is amazing. It was
I'm
so
glad.
elegant. And
One of my
so approachable.
ex-boyfriends helped you with
Who?
one of my ex-boyfriends.
Oh yeah, he did the sketch for me.
Because we went in and like, he was an artist actually.
I wanted Nir
So-
to marry him just so that I can have somebody who does 3D sketches for you by hand.
No, I swear he went into the place and it was like al-mahara. It was all broken, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll sketch it for your sister, and he started sketching it by hand, and he did the whole thing.
wow.
I was just like,
You're making it sound like he did the design for me.
No.
I told him what I wanted. By the way.
but he did the
he did the rendering.
Rendering.
It was
right?
really
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what it's called.
Oh shit, I forget. My train of thought.
But Heba, you're more into residential.
I like residential. I'm doing a commercial project now, but residential, like I know what you mean in the sense that we put our heart into it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We put our heart into the residential projects, but like you said, there's no deadline. It could go on
Yes.
forever, and they change their mind during it, and then they like this, but they don't like it, and then they want to see it, but then they're like. It can be very frustrating, but that's why for me I work with repeat clients.
Yes.
So that now I've done so many projects for them. A lot of my clients are like I'll tell them, okay, I'm thinking of doing this. Sometimes I kind of want their feedback. They're like, just do it. We know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And this is great place to be, but yeah, some clients are very difficult, especially. I'll tell you, I have to say this, and this is not very diplomatic, especially when they're couples, because sometimes this one doesn't agree with this one, then sometimes there's an argument, and sometimes there's and so you kind of work. I find a few times I kind of worked as a therapist in the middle.
Definitely.
You're kind of like it's a lot of psychology, right?
And design, like we wear a million hats, and one of them is like counselor and therapist, and like making sure that like everybody's on board.
And the thing is that time-wise it always goes over.
Yeah.
And money, budget-wise, always goes over, and they never understand why. I'm like, you changed this to this. I told you this is going to be more expensive. Yeah, but I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I think there's
exactly.
always that kind of. I think commercial, you don't have
That issue so much.
Yeah.
But I am better at residential, I think, than commercial. Commercial for me is a lot of details, and because I'm just essentially an interior designer decorator. It's difficult, the little details with commercial projects, I definitely work with a firm. I work with another articultural firm so that otherwise I wouldn't be able to do it.
I kind of find that very surprising. I feel you're very into the Aslan fight.
Really?
I feel like commercial is like different types of details perhaps, and
maybe.
Because they have like codes. Like right now I'm working with a mechanical, one is Karaba. I'm forgetting my
Electrical.
I'm forgetting languages.
Electrical engineer.
I can barely speak English now.
What's my language?
Electricity engineer.
مهندس كهرباء.
And so there's a lot of rules you have to follow, and distances, etc., which might not happen in residential, but you could. But in any case, I always get a professional engineer for that stuff. You know.
Yeah, I don't get it for. I don't necessarily. I get like a professional guy that oversees my residential projects.
Yeah.
So I work closely with him because I've worked with him for many years. And Anna, for me, the thing in Egypt, somebody I trust is more important than anything else. At the beginning, I worked with a few people that did things like I didn't know very much about the technical thing. Is not my thing. But if you don't trust somebody, they can do disasters in plumbing and electricity. Like, so it's like this. But after 20 years, I know really well, and I'm like, you know what? No, if I can tell, but at the same time, I try to work with the same people over and over again because I just, you know, it makes a huge difference. In Egypt, that's one of the biggest challenges because you feel like you don't know if they're going to do it, if they're going to do what they're saying they're going to do. For me, that's what's most important for my client, that it's like when I leave, there's not going to be any disasters. Right?
It's not just like, I think some people think that we're going to create something beautiful, they'll take photographs, and then khalas, it's like, for me, it's the user experience is extremely important.
She's just giving us the time.
Just so we keep it track.
So on your account, there was, what's the Mahali Award and what's the Arch Daily?
Okay, so
I saw the two
the Mahali Awards, like Mona Hussein, like I'm saying
Mahali is Mona Hussein, صح?
Oh my god,
I don't know who does that actually. Perhaps, I don't know.
Okay.
I said it's like such an American, Mahali.
Yes, that's what
Mahali.
I was like, Mahali. I was like, I never heard of that before.
It's like my friend that said Idra, and I was just like, Habibi, anta Hamas.
I think we gotta share this with Mona. I want that clip. The Mahali. It also sounds like it's a little Indian as well, you know?
Mahali
Award. Sorry, Mahali Award.
So the Mahali Awards, I was just a judge in it. I also had my furniture. I did two different collections for Mona Hussein's Mahali over the years. Like one like when she first started, and one like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
What do you mean by collections? Like
what did you design?
So the first time, she gave us like really cool inspirations for her first collection, like some marble patterns, and she's like, do some designs off of that. So I designed a desk in a media center. And then last time I designed a coffee table and a console and like little stackable poofs.
So where are these displayed? Where can we see them?
In Mahali.
Mahali.
And Mahali and Tajamo El Hamis.
Oh my god! Wait, I gotta ask another question. You also were doing those sinks.
Yes, Yasmin had
Yes.
a sink. And
she's not doing that anymore, right?
Not right now, but like she's so good at it, so I don't know. I mean, like she made beautiful
sinks. They were
sinks.
so beautiful.
Gorgeous. Super durable, like super unique, and like...
They're not being made anymore?
She went to Bali for a year for her kids, and then she came back, and I think she's super creative, so she's trying out different stuff. Also, she used to work in a Claygo, so she has a lot of design background, and she's just a creative, Annie.
And what happened? Wait. Sorry, it's because it's just, remember that thing that you invented? Instead of touching the doorknob, you just
yes. Well, no, I didn't invent that. That was like
you invented that?
No, I didn't
the touch thing.
I'm actually using it in a project because I was like telling my client like we needed to do a bin and a kitchen, and I was like I don't like the way this bin is working because I feel that the chef has to use the hand.
Yeah.
I'm, okay, wait a minute. I did this before. I did a foot pulley. So you forget over time with age. Sometimes your projects, and it's not that like Yanni that we're so successful or anything. It's just age. Like, I actually
Speak
have
for
this
yourself,
product.
buddy. I'm reverse aging.
You're much younger than me.
I'm reverse aging. Yes, that's really.
Wait, you're not. How old are you?
He's the same year as me. 76.
Okay.
You're born 76, right?
Yeah,
like
me.
Yeah, but
I didn't age as well as Hibbs though.
Heba kind of doesn't. She's, you know, I say it's because she's short.
So is he.
I'm just supposed to be. And most of them average, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So you can.
He did it. I saw it during. It was before COVID or after COVID?
That was like during. Actually, I was supposed to do it before COVID. It was supposed to happen, and then we only launched during COVID. And I was like, okay, this is going to be my, my big thing. It wasn't.
No,
it didn't work.
The collection.
No, that was just the foot pulley.
Oh, the foot pulley. Oh, I
so
thought
instead of touching the door, there's the foot thing at the bottom, and you push with that.
You pull with your foot.
pull.
Were you guys high on something or something? Like
No.
being
So impressed with this football-y thing.
No, well, because
I had seen it before. I saw it in LA in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And getting the kit over here is like just super expensive.
I
It's
want to
not
see this
cost
football. So how does it work? So it's a bin that's in a cupboard?
No. It's like this metal thing that you put onto the door. So instead of holding the knob, you just pull the.
use
Oh,
your
okay.
feet.
So it's like a door handle, but for the foot.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
instead
interesting.
of using
Yeah.
the door handle that's full of germs, you use your foot to open and close the door.
Never heard of that.
Don't you remember how psycho he was during
yes.
COVID? And he I couldn't go near him. He would back
Ramzi
off.
is-
Oh my God.
And he got it twice.
I got it twice. Yeah.
Ramzi's
so careful.
OCD.
I'm definitely OCD. But then I always
time.
tell people it works for my job. It's not the best thing for my personal life,
But yeah.
but it works well for work.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. It's true. It's good. So you pay a lot of attention to detail, and
Yes.
you're very meticulous, and
Oh yeah.
Which is really important, I think, in interior design because
a lot of people don't.
No, because my son, I had somebody recently. He wanted to put a spotlight in one space. We had our lighting designer do an amazing plan, and then he wanted to put the smoke detector 5 centimeters away from it.
Oh my God.
I was like, "That dude, you gotta align it, man. This is I won't be able to sleep."
He wakes up having nightmares. It's not a line. It's not a line.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And also, these things can ruin the whole look.
Yes.
You look up and you see a spot, and then you see something right next to it. It's
Yes.
oh my God, it's awful.
And it looks like you didn't really study the thing well. And so I think when you're doing a commercial project and it doesn't look like they really study the thing well, I would lose kind of confidence right. At least me, when I go into a space and it's not clean enough or not
For sure.
not organized enough. If the menu type, okay, if they didn't plan this menu properly, will any of this taste good, aslan? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of subconscious thought and design.
Any projects you rejected?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
For what reason? You don't have to say who they were or anything, but
I'm trying over my life to kind of grow as a human being and evolve. And if I find a project is just a bit too much or too decadent, then I would feel kind of uncomfortable doing that.
okay.
So maybe I don't want to be judgmental, but I mean it was just so much, and I was like, this is just. I would feel guilty. He had a very big budget. So again, really bad business decisions.
Not smart, Ramzi.
Right now I could have a very fancy wig.
You wouldn't be here sitting with us.
too good for us. But yeah.
No, I rejected a couple of times project. There was one person this guy was showing me pictures of what he wanted his place to look like. And I was like, قال لي تعرفي تعملي كده? I looked, I was like, it was so bad and بلدي and and horrible taste to ممكن أي حد يعمل كده بس أنا ما أعملهاش. Sorry. I'm not doing this is not for me. Sorry,
Find somebody else.
that was
Yeah.
I told him no, sorry, this is not my style. Find somebody else. You're not going to like what I'm going to do. And I didn't tell him this. I can't stoop to that level and do this. So I said, لا أنت لاقي لك حد تاني. But
That was your PC way of saying it. No, because sometimes somebody comes to me and they're like, I want a really Swedish design. Send me inspirations and send me any furniture that you want to take from your space to the next. So those are some people I rejected. And then what they have is completely different than their inspirational photo. حد عنده مثلا عفش كتير متحب وعايزين ياخد حاجات المتحب في المكان السويدش. It's really hard to pull off.
oh my God, yeah.
I don't know how I can pull these two together. I told them there's a disconnect between those.
So you didn't take those projects, or you took them and you
No, I
were
didn't.
Yeah. Sometimes some people don't know what they want.
Yeah.
It becomes they don't know what they want, but they think they know better.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult.
Have you
Those
guys ever
clients.
fired a client?
Yeah, but I can't say this on the show. I definitely no, because I think
For what reason though?
for what reason either it was taking way too much time, or they weren't listening to the designer for a very long time. I mean, it's very important to listen to your client, but after a while, when it extends to a time when you start losing a lot of money and it becomes stressful to you, your mental health is also very important.
That happens to me once too.
Our job is super stressful.
Yeah.
And I never thought when I wanted to be an interior designer, I didn't think I would be so stressed out. I thought it would be
Fun and
fun
the nice, the pretty stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. During a project, it's always stressful.
Yeah.
It's always at the end. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm really happy this turned out well.
And the beginning,
so it's
as
worth
well.
it.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning. There's like a sweet spot, you know. It's like the first trimester, the honeymoon period, and then at the end,
you have the
middle
baby.
period is you have the baby, and you're like, don't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah.
No, that's a different story.
So the client makes a big difference. I always recommend to design students, like, you have to vet your clients really, really well, and like sit with them and see like how you guys interact, and like there has to be a mutual respect, and you have to like each other, because it's very intimate.
No, Ramzi, whenever I bump into you every now and then, it's like, you're like, it's, and we far in between, you're like, that's it, I'm not taking any clients. I heard it, he's like, I'm done with residential. I can't take clients anymore.
I think all of us do that. I think all interior designers do that. Especially when you have your heart in it. It's like so frustrating. Yeah, I've gone back and forth.
You had a client at one point, you're just like, I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this. It's like, oh my God, I can't do this. And then at the end, they're so happy and they're so grateful. But then there's a period in the middle that becomes so annoying.
Yeah.
You know?
Not all of them. I mean, like, and I was blessed with a lot of like really amazing clients. And then, but I did have like my fair share of like any.
There's always those 10-20% of them of just annoying.
We have like difficult moments, and
and it's like you're breaking up.
Closer to God, you know, they start praying more.
So tell me something. What do people do in interior design in Egypt that you find clients or other designers that is like a pet peeve of yours? You're like, oh my God, I wish they would stop doing this.
Well, I'm very, very picky, as you know.
Yes.
So there are several pet peeves.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to do.
So there's a lot of pet peeves, and but that being said, I want to say like we're in a design was pretty much dead for a couple of decades, right? Like we couldn't really do much with design for a good number of decades. So in the last 20 years or so, we're kind of in a design renaissance. So like I'm very grateful for what's happening, and that there's so much exposure now, and we're doing different stuff. But my pet peeve is like Pinterest design, and it's so obvious. A design without a concept. And
you mean that they actually replicate it?
Yeah, they just like take the same thing over and over again, and like you could go inside and you sense like, and I'm just fahim that marbut في بعض وازاي. It's like you could almost sometimes go into a space and you can see the kitchen is from one photo, and then the living room is from another photo, and it's just like,
oh God, yeah,
you know. So or like pieces of furniture, and we have or like inspirations that don't really relate to our country. So like when somebody does that and they take it from a European house to Cairo, but we have a different culture, we have a different way of living, we have different weather. So like you can't just copy paste design. I mean, like a big major portion of it is functionality.
I think that was one of my things with my first project is that you don't realize that certain materials don't work in Egypt.
Yeah.
And so you have to adapt, and you have to be that kind of person. And my pet peeve is kind of, I think similar to that a little bit, is that I find that sometimes I walk into somebody's home and it's like,
you don't see them, you see the designer.
Exactly. Or just so much copy paste. The same designer does the same thing, and it feels like you're walking into something that doesn't represent the person themselves. It's just kind of like it looks good in pictures and in the books, but it doesn't feel like it's like a home. It feels like a house. I don't know if that makes sense.
I totally get it. I feel exactly the same way.
Yeah, I totally get it too.
Yeah.
And I don't do that at all.
Ditto.
I just have to say that.
Imagine every answer, ditto.
So you're kind of like me, because you have a very strong style and a signature style. And do clients they come to you for that?
Well, I think I'm more like about like being minimal and functional. I think stylistically I changed, but like I don't like a lot of layers. I like keeping it simple, and but keeping it simple is actually much harder, which people don't realize. Like creating a minimal space, like there's nothing to hide things with. Yeah, it's kind of like my philosophy in life. Like I just feel like there's just a lot of consumerism, and I know we're designers and we should get stuff and do stuff, but for me it just becomes a bit too indulgent, and you don't need to spend so much money or have so much stuff to have beauty. It's like you can always see like a very well-dressed woman, like she could be wearing stuff from H&M and she could be looking like a star, and somebody who's got no style and taste could be like decked out in all these brands and just looks super tacky. So it comes down to like just good design and good taste.
Yeah.
I don't think that requires money or abundance or.
Have you evolved into that, or is that something that you knew from the get-go at the beginning?
I've always been very, very pro local. And then over time, definitely it became more of a life philosophy as well. That I don't need all this stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about this, we spoke about this, Nira and I, several times. I'm very trying to be as much as possible into minimalism, and I find that, especially with kids, there's so much clutter. We accumulate so much clutter and so much shit that we don't need.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm starting to, I feel like kind of I need to go back.
Yeah.
And one thing I like to do, invest in a lot, is art. I love art. But I like to now also with time, I didn't have that at the beginning. I kind of wanted to be more, because I'll tell you something, I find a lot of the designers here in Egypt, including you, are super creative and talented. I think I never saw myself as the super creative, talented. I realized that I like not a minimalist, but kind of neutral kind of palette to work with, like a canvas, neutral. And then I love to accentuate it with accessories and art and this kind of stuff. But I realize now I don't like to do this trying to be creative because it's not authentic to me.
No, because I think you're super creative. I don't think you need to have I think creativity is a very big space, and the way you work with textures and colors and materials and the way you lay out stuff and your art, it's your stuff is always. Oh, and I'm not saying that because I'm here. And I always say Heba is super elegant, but there's a really nice laid back aspect to it, so it's never pretentious.
Oh, thank you.
It's very authentic, and I think that's brilliant design. When it's authentic.
Well, I'm very flattered that you say that about me, because I really find you have such a I like the fact that you use things. You're more entrenched in the design aspect of things. You know where to find things here. I'm more kind of more conservative, I guess, in my interior design approach.
I think there's many different types of creativity. So
yeah, but you're conservative, but not at the same time. I have to say, because you're conservative when it needs to be conservative, but you can add that splash of color and that splash of texture at the right moment.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's unexpected for some people. My sister, because Heba redid my bathroom.
Yeah.
And somebody walked into it and they really it's all the tile, but on one wall she used texture tile, a completely different tile than the rest of the bathroom, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's a functional space compared to what it was before. It was awful.
Yeah, it was awful before. It was terrible.
I remember the functionality was amazing. Yeah.
And so now, but somebody, and you don't notice it, but somebody, I think Rami walked into it. He's like, "Oh, I really like this wall."
Yeah.
But he's also.
It's like a picture of Rami. I mean.
I have to say, I'm lucky because my husband's an architect, Hassan, and since we've been married, we work well together because he has a certain aspect that I don't see, and I have, so we kind of complement each other. Yeah. How about you? Do you have anybody that you work with that you feel like there's a mentor, that's somebody that you kind of get inspired by?
I have a lot of people who inspire me, for sure. I mean, Tara Labib, Allah yarhamu, he was to me
he was very talented.
Oh yeah, to me he was the man of our generation, the designer of that generation. Not the man. That sounded very sexist. Horrible.
Who is that though?
He's an architect.
Very talented. Him and his brother's an architect too.
His brother Kamen he was a photographer. Sorry, a photographer.
Oh, that's right. He passed away?
Yes. Hashem,
what?
Yeah.
They both passed away?
His brother passed away a few years after him, I think.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Yikes.
But we have loads of the people who I love here, design-wise. Walid Arafa did an amazing mosque in Basuna. Walid Arafa, the stunning, award-winning mosque in Basuna, the small town between Sohag and Asyut.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I'm doing also a design show. I've been working on this for the past year and a half. It hasn't lifted off, and my first interviewee was Walid.
Okay.
So we flew to Basuna or Asyut or Sohag, and we drove to Basuna. And came back the same day, and he walked us through the mosque, and it's gorgeous, and everything is very well studied and researched, and there's a very extremely strong concept and identity to the space. But it's the first. To me, it was the first place of worship that's in Egypt that's massive after Ashley Church, and that was built in the 1950s or something, because we had a long period where it was just repeat, but like we lost the uniqueness. And after like having beautiful mosques like Ibn Tulun or Sultan Hassan, it didn't make sense that we went through a stagnant period for a while. So I feel like Walid kind of brought it back.
Oh, nice.
We need to go check that out.
Yeah. I'd love to, actually.
We could go together to Sohaig or Asut.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I went for work one time.
It's so nice.
You just assume.
Spaces are so nice because they're so so
Chilled out.
opposite of Cairo.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's Eid Amatan is like it reminds me of Cairo when we were young.
Very
Yes,
much.
it's true.
Definitely.
Smiles.
Yeah,
It has that feel
people are
to
nice.
I miss smiles.
People are so grumpy now.
We want to just kind of try to wrap it up so that we're not, but maybe we'll have you on for a second episode. But okay, so I want to ask you, if you weren't an interior designer, what would you do?
I would love to be, if I had the talent, to be a comedian.
Really? Stand-up comedian?
A stand-up comedian or an actor, like...
I think you could do it, though.
I
I think you are talented.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
I think you are
I
talented.
feel like it'd be
you
much
could
less work than interior design. You know?
I don't know about
I memorize
that.
some lines, I go on set, do some autographs.
The working hours suck, though.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
I could not do it. I sleep early.
No, me, it's the memorizing. I would have a very hard time memorizing.
You know, it's like a small like earpiece or something.
Like, just give me the little
Cheat,
thing and then cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my hand written on my hand, like I'm about to go into an exam.
But I can see us being part of a sitcom, like the three of us.
Oh my god, yes. Seinfeld 2.0.
Oh my god, it'd be hilarious.
Egyptian
And then
Seinfeld
Vegas.
2.0.
Cairo Seinfeld.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
And then like when Oprah interviews us, we'll talk about this podcast and say like this is how
This
our
is
show
where we started.
Lo and behold.
Elaine, Larry David.
George Costanza? No.
I am George Costanza. You're Elaine,
George
right?
Costanza. I'm Elaine, of course. He used to call me
Yes,
Elaine.
she's still like on my phone. There's like 4 different numbers.
So I claimed her. I'm Elaine.
Fine.
But okay, other thing. What advice do you have for aspiring new interior designers?
I think to be authentic and true to themselves, and to and not to be concerned about trends or like becoming somebody else. Like it's one thing to be inspired by somebody, another thing trying to copy somebody. So I think that's the
Totally
first
agree.
thing. And to study well. I mean, like when I went to design school, I was like obnoxious. I thought I was so gifted as a designer. And then going into design school, like, it really, really humbled me and showed me that there's like so much I didn't know. So like you have to really educate yourself about art history, design theories, design philosophies, architects, designers, colors, lighting.
It's true.
There's just so much that goes into a good design.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't do that because my course was much shorter, but I think that's probably a very important thing to do.
Yeah.
Last thing, can you describe your dream client in 3 words? And dream project in 3 words.
Wow.
Tough one.
You didn't tell me to be hard questions.
No, we can cut this out entirely.
I just wore cute green socks, you know?
Yeah.
He wears nice socks.
I think my dream project would definitely have like a cool community aspect to it. I would really be cool seeing like doing a project where I feel like it kind of affects the community in some capacity. So I would love to do something that's community related.
To give back.
To give back, but also to like, I think to become a better designer, because like when you're doing a good community center, I believe like has like a lot of hard aspects to it, you know. So it's a really big learning experience.
Yeah.
You know.
And where do you see yourself in 5 and 10 years from now?
I have
Still
no
an interior
idea.
designer?
I mean, like I tried stopping for a while and I came back.
Yeah,
Just,
it's
I
true.
love it too much. I really love it. So I think there's always going to be an aspect of interior design. But like we'll be famous on our sitcom.
Exactly.
Obviously.
But we'll just
So
do this on the side.
we'll do this on the side, and like how and people are like, that's amazing. Like, so you guys are sitcom stars,
Podcasters.
You've won Golden Globes. They made an Oscar for y'all.
Yeah, I'm a famous chef. Yeah, hey, it works.
And you're also designers and famous chefs. This is amazing. How do you do it?
I mean, you've been doing it for 20 years. We've both been doing it for almost 20 years. We have credibility. We know the trade. We know it well. We have the clients. We have the workers. All that. But it's true. It's a shame to like just throw it away. But that's why I always feel
like too much in our DNA and blood. Like I love always design. Have it in some capacity, in some way. But like I truly believe that like we're kind of here for a purpose and to kind of let God and the universe take you where you're supposed to go, and just
you actually it really becomes part like when you watch like I was just off track because I remember when I watched that Italian movie. What was it called again?
Which one?
The one where they're all in one room. They're all friends
with the phones.
With the phones.
Oh my God, yes.
So I'm watching this movie. First of all, the movie was fantastic. It's Italian. The movie was fantastic. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, Mom and Heba really have to see this movie because the interior of this house is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
It was, remember? And me, the whole time I was watching, besides the fact that I really enjoyed the movie, I loved the house.
Yeah.
It was in Italy. It was the kitchen was awesome. Wow. I'm like, oh, this house is really, really, really nice. So it's so interesting. Like even like when you do little things, you still look at like for you the interior design in the movie, and
it's always an aspect. I think we always like, oh my God, I love this person's house, or I always like that. To me is like I love it. It's a passion of mine.
Okay, so anyways, we're gonna wrap it up, and we will link up all the. Everything like Ramzi's Instagram account, his website. Do you have a website?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna link that all in the show notes. And we will thank you, Ramzi, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And we loved having you, and we might have you on for part 2.
I would love it.
Okay.
Y'all come back now.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Who Said What. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found a bit of laughter, a few lessons, or even a new perspective along the way. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes moments and to stay up to date on what's coming next.